Hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mary and today's video is going to be a sort of compilation of all of my least favorite tropes slash things in books. Basically, these are common things that I see a lot that either make me avoid a book altogether or drop my rating really fast because I really don't like these things. I'm just gonna go through this list in the order that I have written down, and I wrote these down in the order in which I thought of them. So they're not in any particular order of one being way worse than the other. These are just things that I've noted about my reading taste throughout the past several years. So the first thing I have on this list is World War II historical fiction. I think for me, this setting is just a little overdone. Like, I've seen it, I've read it, it's been done to death. And so it's not really something that I look forward to picking up anymore. It's not something that I'm very interested in reading. If I'm going to read historical fiction, I prefer it to be from a different time period than World War II. I know that that might not be super popular of an opinion, but I have heard some other people say the same thing. This is not to say that I hate every historical fiction World War II book that I've read, but it is to say that it's just something that I am not picking up anymore. The second thing that I've noticed that I really am not a fan of in books is books that talk a lot about music. So there are several books that I can think of off the top of my head that I didn't dislike, but the music elements of them I don't love. One book that I just read, A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, there are like whole sections of song lyrics, and that is almost okay to me because the song lyrics tell a story. But there have been several books that use like music theory, just really heavily discuss music, that part, I just don't enjoy reading it. I'm not like a non-musical person. Like, I did musical theater in high school. I always did choir and all of that stuff. I can read music, etc. But like, for me, for whatever reason, having music be a main focus of books is boring. So this one is pretty specific in what I don't like about it, but it doesn't deter me from picking up a book if it says it has this, but I am very cautious about it. So this is specific to mystery thrillers. I don't like split timelines when the whole purpose of the split timeline is to hide information from the reader. Like, if it's strategically done so that there's something that happened that all of the characters know about, but the reader doesn't know, I really don't like that. It feels like cheap to me because for me, part of the joy of reading a mystery thriller, especially a mystery, is coming up with what I think happened and like what I think is going to happen. I don't like it to be super predictable, but I like the experience of trying to solve whatever mystery it is alongside the characters. So if the characters already know, I hate that. All right, this next one is just a general like pet peeve. I just don't pick these books up. I don't find them interesting. I don't care about them. Celebrity love interests. If one of the people is a celebrity or is famous for whatever reason, I'm not that interested in it. I don't have any desire to read it. I don't care. Like, I don't find like fame and celebrity to be really like interesting to read about. I would prefer to read about normal people, if that makes sense. Okay, the next thing I've sort of talked about recently in my TBR, because I got 2 books that contain this for my TBR game: poetry and like books written in verse. In general, I don't like poetry. I'm okay with books written in verse to an extent, but collections of poems to tell a story are not for me. I'm curious because I know I'm reading Why God is a Woman, and I believe that that book is like a collection of poems that are supposed to tell this story. So I'm curious to see if I will like that. I don't think I will, but I'm gonna read it because it's been on my TBR, and if I don't like it, then I don't like it, and that's that. But like poetry collections, they don't move me. I don't know what it is about me, but I don't really love poetry. Another thing that is like kind of funny, I've tried a couple of these and they just don't work for me, are Arthurian legend retellings. I don't know what it is about them. I don't really like them. I don't know if it's that I like know the story too well because I've like grown up with it, or really what it is, but I think I've read 2 or 3 and every time I'm like, I don't like it. I don't know what exactly it is about that I dislike, but if I hear it's an Arthurian legend retelling, like I think Legendborn by Tracy Dion. Yeah, I heard great things about Legendborn, but I also heard some like pretty negative things. And then I heard that it was an Arthurian legend retelling, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm never gonna read that. So it's just not for me. Another thing that is just really not for me that like really turns me off, and this kind of connects to another thing that I've been saying recently. I hate when books are like mirroring the 2016 election in the US, or when that's like happening in the background. Like, it's not nuanced, it's not like deep or reflective or introspective. It's just like, I don't know, I'm so over it. I think I'm over like current politics in books in general, I don't want to read about it. I don't know. I like political fantasy, but I don't want to read another book about like somebody who's supposed to be like Hillary Clinton, right? Like I'm just not interested in it. And you can tell me if you feel the same way or feel differently, but it's just really not for me. I just don't find it I never find it insightful. I never find it interesting. I never find it unique enough of a take to like warrant my time reading. That's another thing I really hate just off the top of my head. And then the last thing that I really hate that I feel like ties into this is when you're reading a book and the book has a like strong moral message that is like being pushed down your throat, especially when it's a fiction book, okay? And I know that every author has their biases, but I prefer subtlety. It's just me. Even if I agree with the opinion, it makes me want to disagree with the opinion because it's so annoying. A couple of more things that are just general. I hate excessive pop culture references. This is really common in like YA contemporary, I've noticed. It's why I've sort of stepped off of reading YA, backed off of reading YA. It's not the only reason, but it's one of the main ones, is that I don't love excessive pop culture references. I also don't love plots that heavily rely on social media. I think name dropping a social media is so dangerous because of the way things evolve. Like if you had a book that was talking about Facebook like 10 years ago even, it would have still been very, very relevant. But like 5 years ago even, it's kind of irrelevant now. Like nobody's really on Facebook. I feel like it just dates your book and is like difficult. Like if you can say that the teenager is using like some app, but you don't have to name drop the app. Do you know what I mean? Like you can say they're watching a movie, but you don't have to name drop the movie. And it's just not for me. And the last thing is something that I noticed, I think this year or last year. And again, it mainly applies to like mystery, thriller, and horror books. But the is it paranormal or is it not paranormal drives me up a wall. I hate it. But I explicitly hate it when it's not paranormal. Like, I just hate it. I don't know what it is. Let me know if you agree or disagree on that point, because I think a lot of people like it, which is why it's like become a common thing. But for me, it drives me so crazy. I just can't stand it. That is my list of several things that I hate, can't stand, despise in books. That either makes me avoid the book altogether or drop the rating when it happens. Let me know some of yours in the comments down below. Also, let me know if you agree or disagree with me on any of these. Like, are any of these your favorite trope? I would love to hear it. Because again, like, it's not a negative thing. It's just not for me personally. So yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this topic in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more from me, you can subscribe to my channel. I am back to posting 2 videos a week, tentatively. I know I missed Thanksgiving, I think. But in theory, I'm back to 2 videos a week. And I will see you in another video very soon. Bye!